Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Kerri and Ray about Maggie premiering on Hulu July 6th. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love this show. Ray, I have to ask, how much fun was it to play a psychic?
It's a hoot, Peter. It's really fun. It's just the great part of it is that you're just connecting with another human being, right?
Yeah.
And that's really the play. But to have I have a crystal ball in my office, which is great, and all of these wonderful little tricks that I use in the cards. It's been really fun.
Absolutely. Kerri, you look at a show like this, a lot of sitcoms and comedy series, they have kind of those roller coaster of emotions each episode because something happens. In workplace comedy, something happens and the whole story and everything. This one becomes, I feel like, more complex because Maggie is a psychic. You know what I mean? So what was that like kind of working on a show where it has a unique component for a comedy series because the psychic component where she sees the conflict that happens in each episode?
I actually think that the beauty of the way it's woven into the story is almost, to be honest with you, incidental. That
Yes.
At its core, it's a show about relationships. It's a show about friendship. It's a show about family. It's a show about parents. It's a show about children that people can relate to. I feel like this story could take place on the space shuttle. I feel like this story could take place all different scenarios. The fact that she's a psychic, in a sense, is to me, like a cherry on top, that there's also this other element. But at its core, it's a believable story about these people. And there really is as someone said earlier today, there really is no comic relief. You follow this whole world and all of these stories. So I think it's quite relatable, despite the fact that it's about a psychic.
That's really interesting. And Ray, to kind of add what Kerri said a little bit, some shows more than others, right? But I feel like there's always the serious undertones in comedy. You know what I mean? Because it's about life, about relationships. I'm just wondering, and maybe specifically for Maggie, Ray, do you feel like it kind of just happens, or do you feel like this is something premeditated and planned, like the serious undertones of life and relationships and everything?
I think it just is, right?
Yeah.
These are things that we're all concerned about: family, relationships, love, money. Like, it's universal. Mm-hmm. Right. So you can't play the light side of it without that undertone bubbling up, because that's what makes it real. That's what makes it human.
Yeah, absolutely. Kerri, it's a big question, Kerri, but I have to ask you this because you've worked in so much amazing projects in this body of work. What's your favorite thing about working in comedy specifically?
Well, I think like Ray said, first of all, it has to be based in some kind of reality.
Yep.
And so the ones that are have a real, grounded base are my favorite. My favorite thing about working in comedy in general is that you see, this sounds silly, but you see the joy that it brings other people.
Yep.
Selfishly, it also helps you get through your day longer. We're doing sometimes 14-hour days. And if we're on a medical procedural show, by the end of the day, you're probably quite drained. I was energized because I'm trying to make Chris Elliot laugh. Chris Elliot's trying to make me laugh. We're trying to make Ray laugh. Ray's trying to make us laugh. So it's energizing. And I think it's energizing, hopefully, for the audience too.
Oh, absolutely. Ray, before we wrap up quickly, they're going to be able to watch Maggie July 6th on Hulu. What are you hoping they get out of it when they watch the show takeaway-wise?
I hope people are encouraged. I hope they find light. I hope they find joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's all there. You just got
It's all there. I love it. Again, like the psychic component. Yeah, absolutely. I just love the slice of life component. I'm a big fan of slice of life, and this is the show for them for that. Kerri, Ray, thank you so much for your time. July 6th, Maggie's premiering on Hulu. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.